Hello, if anyone is here. I saw a lot of people in the chat earlier waiting for me. I'm sorry, I had to reschedule this thing, and then I don't even know how long I'm going to be on here. Just kid stuff. Um, so if I have to scoot off of here, just know it's my offspring who needs me. Um, I had originally wanted to do this, and hi everyone. Did I say hi? I don't know. I gotta say, I'm a little flustered right now. It's one of those things like your kid gets out of bed 15 times when they're supposed to be in bed. You, I don't know, nothing horrible, just a lot of crazy things. Not crazy. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so flustered. I can't even talk. It's just one little small thing after another, and I'm just irritated. And I was going to do this last night, um, but I'm doing it tonight. So, hello. What is the it that I'm doing? I don't really know, other than to say, I think I said this before. Um, I'm say what you will about certain people, and hmm, say what you will about certain people. No, some of us have different opinions of those in lawsuits, but hello, hello, hello. I'm proud of people for standing up for themselves, whether it's Steph, whether it's, I keep wanting to call her Starla, so I'm just going to call her Starla. Um, whomever it is, against anyone, fill in the blank, who has crossed boundaries, said things that are violent or make somebody feel unsafe um, online. I feel like it takes courage to do that. Um, and I'm glad it's happening. I'm sorry. I'm so scatterbrained. It's like I'm frustrated, you know? It's like I've got blue balls of life right now. It's like I go to put a dish away and the cabinet door falls off, or this or that. That didn't really happen, but you get my drift. Um, my daughter even suggested, she's like, you can like scream into a pillow. I was like, it's not a bad idea. I may have done that a couple times before I got on stream. Just, hey, Rose. Oh, yes. And I definitely would have liked to be or have been in the room where it happened. I will let somebody else speak up for themselves. I basically got it from them. Love to be a fly in the wall. Um, you mod for a chick for so long, and you don't understand the full scope of their intentions. And try to warn them, like, hey, maybe X, Y, and Z is not really a good look. But even what you've kind of suggested as a friend, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this, um, is 1/10 of what you have only then realized what they do. And that's only like 50% of what you're now finding out that people have taken them to court for. Yeah, tip of the iceberg. Um, and it's I think I'm here to validate myself and anybody else out there that's feeling a certain way. I guess sometimes I feel childish for feeling like a little exposed or vulnerable because, um, I'm in my 40s. I'm not supposed to sit there and blindly um, talk to strangers online, if you will. Um, but I'm thinking, since it's friendship stuff, it shouldn't be like that much of an issue. No, I didn't go give anybody like my freaking social security number or something. But um, you know, those involved who have more of my personal information that I'm comfortable with, even if it is just my social media with all my real family and friends there. Um, I think we've all witnessed quite a few crazy characters out there who take things to extreme limits, people who have sent nasty, horrible, violent, anti Semitic things to attorneys out in California and different things like that. Um, so when you slowly come to realize over time that someone or multiple someones you had befriended online um, have don't have the best intentions with knowing anything personal about you, um, and their friends kind of do similar things, then um, it can make anybody feel a little bit nervous. Um, I think my ADHD is like in, even though my silence, what goes on in between my moments of not saying anything, you think I'm looking for the words. I'm not. I have 10 narratives, if you will. Yeah, I freaking said that word. Going on in my head at the same time. And no, I don't hear voices. It's my own voice. It's my own annoying voice. Wish I heard some other voices. But that I just anybody who has ADHD knows. When they have a shortage of ADHD medicine, um, it gets even more fun. It gets a little louder. It's like, oh hey, remember your kid's picture day is the next day, and oh hey, did you do this? And did you do this? And but I've gotten a little bit more of the story, but I do have to ask, not for gossip reasons, even though something's interesting, but for my own personal edification, if that's the right word for that sentence, um, I would like to get a heads up on these things because, again, even though I may not always be connected to everything going on, there was a time that I was connected to these people. And it's always nice to have information about legal goings on. So it's not a veiled threat or anything. I just like to be in the know. Um, yeah, yeah. I feel like some things are are dangerous. Even back in the day with me, people saying things about me, and I guess this person is like out of the country, so um, it's good for now. But I know quite a few of you watch true crime or listen to true crime or whatever. I grew up on Unsolved Mysteries, and by the way, they have a lot of those episodes on YouTube now. It's very nostalgic. But I got stranger danger, man. I'm not putting it past anybody to drive across the country and do anything. Not everyone is in a right state of mind. Not anyone, not everyone. I don't know what I said, but what I meant is I don't know. Hello, 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 hello. I don't know who some of you are, but hello. And thank you for being here. I probably sound real asshole-like and ungrateful, but I'm just a mom at the end of the day who probably needs a drink. Yeah, I agree. They very much do. Um, I'm reading some of what you guys say too. I'm just not going to be able to fully focus. And thank you guys for coming here. Last night, I couldn't do it. Plus, it was helpful. I got to have conversations with a few people and be able to get a little bit more understanding because I was hearing like TROs and ROs and this thing and that thing. And, we know some of them have a history of other people already having those against them. So, it's just useful, helpful to know, gives me peace of mind, and will make me feel grateful if even if some things are just a slap on the wrist, like, hey, stop. Um, at one point, they're going to have to, I hope, would have consequences for the type of things that they do. And when you start coming after people's family members or even just contacting them, you know, I'm trying not to incorrectly speak because I don't know all the details of everything, but I think I get the gist. It's one thing if I put my own face up here, it's another thing to contact my family members. And before I realized people would just look at your information for the sake of looking at it, yeah, I'm not an idiot. I know um, even if you have a private Facebook or a private social media or whatever, anybody that you accept or befriend or betwiddle, whatever the fuck you want to call everything, of course, I know they can see things and then share it to whomever. I just didn't expect them to. I've never known anybody like this in my life um, to just constantly gain all information on all people all the time. It's strange. Yeah, I've heard there were lots of family members. Wow. That person should absolutely 100% know better. 1,000% know better. Not only you don't give other people's medical information out, but if that is true, I guess if they just have a general bachelor's degree in psychology, but if they're a practicing mental health provider, then yikes, yikes. That's just very unwise and doubly should know better than if that's the case. I do miss when it was fun too. And I think with more accountability being held, not even in our world, I've seen it with even, um, I cannot think of that chick's name. She was someone vaguely distant of the anti-KJ world, or no, actually the KJ world. I think she got her YouTube channel taken down. She was something, something, I cannot remember. But I had once seen Mandy Matney, and that's the investigative reporter who broke open the case with the Murdochs, tweeting something about this person and other reporters and holding her accountable for not just being able to come on here as some people do and report news and just say whatever opinion that they want. It's a different thing when you're reporting something as fact versus, hey, I think that person's a cunt. That's different. Or it has been alleged, or whatever the proper way, it is to explain stuff. But you can tell the difference in someone giving just their personal commentary on something, as I am now, and hey, this just in, breaking news. Someone has been accused of this, or, you got to be really careful doing that sort of thing. And I think, especially during the pandemic, as many of us old folks found out that YouTube was more than hair tutorials. I believe that YouTube, social media, Twitch, whatever, everything became more saturated with people, which is not bad. Just like, hey, I can do this. Hey, I've got things to talk about. I want to talk about it. And sure, the way to get quicker views, or the way to grow your channel more quickly, is to talk about the breaking subject of the day, the week, the hot topic, the this and that. Um, and I think there are those who present themselves in a way that lets the viewer know, hey, I'm just chit chatting. I'm just saying, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And then there are those who blur the line of reporting on information and are not careful to differentiate between fact and opinion. And I'm seeing more of those people held accountable in court. In addition to that, I'm seeing more people in our world and different worlds, YouTube worlds, being it's more common for them to be held accountable for crossing um, privacy lines. Again, there's a very thin line, I believe, of, well, it's public information. It's public information. hmm Do it long enough, with enough malice and with enough sense of thinking that you're smarter than the system. Maybe, i.e., doing a live stream where you are reacting to a live stream with when you're talking about when that person you're reacting to is talking about the person that you're court ordered not to talk about. Or maybe it's there's a court case out there pending for you not to talk about that person. And you're like, hey, if they say the name, that's on them. I mean, do what you want, but as the saying goes, fuck around and find out. Eventually, this behavior is going to happen in front of those in the legal system who aren't just some other person on YouTube who's going back and forth with you for the sake of going back and forth with you. Like, life isn't a game. Being in court isn't a game. It shouldn't be treated as such. I'm concerned for those who think it is. I feel like you're playing with fire. But if the trash takes itself out, less work anybody else has to do. Cool. Then you'll maybe when is the point you're gonna actually leave people alone? Hi, just saying. I would, not that anybody on here asked, but I would invite people up here. I'm nervous about I think I want to be more in control of what's said on here tonight or what's up for discussion and what's not. Um, I don't know if I have a lot more to say. I'm trying to be careful too and remember, like, hey, I'm not just woosah, JC, woosah. Perimenopause is a real thing, right? I'm pretty sure that might be my thing. So, said it 100 times, but I'll say it again. Thank you for people like Steph, TXMA, all the other people. Hell yeah, sorry, and not just regular Dr. Pepper. Okay, and people are all or nothing about this. This is friggin' strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. It's a shit. You know how there are those who like are obsessed with Diet Coke, whatever, they like that's their drink. The only soda I ever drink is Dr. Pepper, and unfortunately I have drank it since I was like a teenager. Freaking love Dr. Pepper. But when this bitch came out with strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper, yes, I've tried the other flavors. The cream soda one, it was all right, but regular Dr. Pepper. Only one for me. When this bitch came out, which I understand is still Dr. Pepper, if they ever quit making it, I think I'll cry. I very much think I will cry. Cherry Dr. Pepper, You know, we all have our weaknesses or things that are just, you know. She probably know better than to talk about the case that's currently active, but instead hit the like button. Yeah, I saw some people too saying, basically, like, maybe you should have just kind of recorded this and then cooled it for a minute and came back the next day and, you know, made sure. Was this smart to do? I'm going to go ahead and say no. That's not because I don't like a person. That's just like you may have your back and forth with your uni rocks and your gotchas with this one and that one. If you play gotcha with a judge, you're gonna get got. I was speaking with my oldest sister. She'll be 70 in September. I asked her what's happened with her society. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, some of that. I gotta think about manners where I live. Don't get me started talking about South Carolina manners. What? I didn't say that. Just saying, I have no idea what you were talking about. I didn't say that person's name or that person's live. But if you said it, pretend fashionista. I didn't mention a particular person's live from the other night. But if just saying mentions it, okay. Okay. Not to be Megan, but like I can message you, okay? Flower, flower. Um, those that used to translate, or perhaps still do, I did not know we were still doing videos about the same person. And yet, who's the hypocrite here, right? How many years later, and I'm like talking about certain people again? But hey, I'm not doing it every single freaking night. And that's not the only thing I talk about 50 million times. Not to be Megan. But those that used to translate, and those who used to pull reports on people, get FOIA requests on people going through tragic circumstances, has found themselves in a court case of their own. That's all I'm going to say. Technically, I can say what I want to. Say anything I fucking want to. But at the same time, I gotta be okay with the consequences of what the fuck I say. You know what I'm saying? Just saying? Okay. Every now and then, I get slightly irritated and pissed. I will force flowers on whomever I wish. I'm such a jerk. Same. And that's where in the room where it happens. Well, I don't I know there are different versions of Hamilton. I know there's like an English one. I don't know if there are more, but we're making a Hamilton reference. I'm saying we, me, and the ADHD in my head. I gotta be honest, okay? I really, really like Hamilton, okay? But some of the songs that I like the most are ones that Aaron Burr's character sang. Don't let me start nerding out on Hamilton because I would. No, I don't. No, no, no. Don't put any of those things together. No. Hi, Cristola. TDLR, I may be going through premenopause and I want to punch people in the face, but I won't because I don't want to go to jail. What is the one song? I get chills still every time I hear it. The one was like, why can't I think of it? I'm not falling behind. I'm lying in wait. And even some of the things that some of Burr's dialogue, like, the whole talk less, smile more, like, don't let them know what you're against or what you're for. I feel like sometimes I go through that. Not the smiling part because I don't always like smiling, but it's not that I don't stand for anything. I'm a really impatient person. I don't know if that comes across at all, but although I enjoy conversation, if I have an opinion about something, it's really not it's up for conversation, not discussion, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not here to argue with you about it. It's just the way I think. And um, I'd rather you not know what my opinions are on certain things. And I'm not even talking about politics. I'm just talking about, fuck, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You guys are the ones listening. Um, yeah, my mouth gets me in trouble. Yes, bouquets of pickles are probably more desired than pretty flowers. That looks like broccoli, though. That's a chopped up cucumber. Or is it a chopped up pickle? Only way to find out is to lick your computer screen. Tell me how it tastes. Or your phone. Or your TV. It says pickle. Whatever. Whatever. It's quiet uptown. That one is gut wrenching. If anybody on here hasn't watched Hamilton that lives in America, mm-mm. And I had the great fortune of watching it when I watched it for the first time. I watched it with someone who is more enthusiastic about it than I am. And told me even the background of Lin-Manuel Miranda, how he even wanted to write and produce something about Hamilton, which has backgrounds of him being from Puerto Rico and different things like that, and being an immigrant and his life kind of paralleling Hamilton in ways. I don't think Lin-Manuel has slept with anybody else's wife, but other than that, actually, well, I probably did. I do condone licking your phones at least once in your life. If you're hungry, there's a phone. Two birds, one stone. Lick it, have a snack. Whatever. Yeah, it's actually on Disney. They recorded, I think that they had ended the production of Hamilton on Broadway with the original cast, but they all came back to like do this last recording. If anybody wants to know who the dancer is that represents the bullet in Hamilton, just let me know. I can nerd out about it all you want. And I don't even really know the depths. Hamilton, you can watch a bazillion times and be like, oh. Yeah, I'm both. Okay. I lick phones and I drink. Not just Dr. Pepper. We need to be clear about this. Strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. Okay? Thank you. I have not seen his book collab with Johnny Sun. I did not know until after watching Hamilton that Lin-Manuel, did all the music for Moana. Listen, call me a Disney adult. I don't fucking care. I'm not. But I always really, really like the music from Moana, especially when she like goes and puts the heart back in Ka and she turns into Tafiti, that one about like, this is not who you are and whatever. You're welcome for my singing voice. But like the lyrics and everything, I was just like, yeah, this doesn't define me. It just so beautiful. And then I found out it was him. And then also, yes, he does repeat Island. Yes. Yes. There is someone, I don't know if it was YouTube, TikTok, whatever, that did like I don't know what you call it for music, but like a satire of Lin-Manuel doing exactly that. I'd play it on here, but even though he transposes the words, I don't know if it would get like shut down for the music or whatever, but I'll send it to you later. Okay, listen. I've started to become one, okay? I just don't like admitting it. I don't know what level of annoying I am about it. I would like to say I'm not, but I feel like someone who likes Disney needs other people to voice in if and to which degree of annoyance they are. But I don't, what's the word? It's like cosplay in Disney. I don't do that. Do I have my Figment shirt? No, it's just your imagination. But I use my child with disabilities. I pull the disability card, literally and figuratively, for going to Disney. Because if I could trust that each and every person wasn't a psychopath on here, I would show you and could probably easily go viral. Not that I'm interested, but I could show you the reaction my child had last January when he met Woody. And I had to start thinking about baseball so I didn't cry. Because you heard like 100 people in line start going, ah, when my son, who's nonverbal in a wheelchair, squealed over and over and over again and flapped his arms and was so excited when he saw Woody. That'd make you a Disney adult. And we had lots more instances like that. And then Disney has made, I believe, even cooler movies than when we were kids. And when I say we, I know I've got one or two out there that's around my age. Hopefully there's more. If not, I'll tell you what perimenopause is about later, okay? No, not Woody Harrelson, even though I'm sure he'd be cool too. Encanto, generational trauma up in there. Talking about having to flee your country up in there. Coco. Are you kidding me? The last scene of Coco, where him and his great-grandmother are singing Remember Me? She comes out of her dementia to sing it with him? That's not some princess shit. That's life shit, man. Maybe I'm a weird Disney adult. Okay, whatever. Inside Out. It's another good one. Maybe that movie even gets used during mental health therapeutic services. I wouldn't know. It's okay not to be okay. Sometimes the way to get to happiness is to get through sadness. But Bing Bong disappearing? I can't recover from that. Moment of silence, folks. Toy Story 4 was not funny. I disagree. It made me hate Woody. I'm a chick, but bros before hoes. How can you turn your back on lifetimes of generations of kids and possibly adults to go be with your girl? My son may like Woody. I don't like him anymore. You're welcome. Like, not even the language. agree. That season, that very first season of True Detective, amazing. Who got dementia? So in the movie Coco. My face is gonna start turning red because my family and my son's aide, she helps us out so much. I hate calling her aide because she's our friend. But we have discussions, okay? And one day I was talking about like da 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 da. I was like really passionate, like, I'm not a Disney adult. And she kind of looked at me, and she looked down at my shirt, and she looked up at me. She's like, You I mean, I'll go with what you say. I was wearing an Encanto sweatshirt. How do you not like wood? Well, okay, who had dementia? So in the movie Coco, it's basically about mm, the Day of the Dead. We're gonna say it in English, okay? Which is not about Halloween, people. It's when those I don't know if it's only specific to Mexico, but they honor their past loved ones. They make their favorite foods, things like that. It's a day that they believe that those loved ones who have previously passed can come back and like visit and celebrate and yada yada yada. So the whole premise of Coco is this little boy being able to go to he doesn't pass. He finds like a little special way to be able to go to the other side where everyone who has passed is currently. And at the very end of the whole movie, him and his great grandmother sing the song that's tied to his Coco's family that he meets back on the other side. Um, oh my gosh, sorry. And that's what that song was about. The wood comment, there's a character from the movie Toy Story, and there's four versions of Toy Story. You'll have to forgive my crusty nails. They have broken. I need to take the nail polish off. But Woody is a character of like this toy that's a cowboy. And the whole premise of these movies is that it's like what the toys do when you're not around, which sounds, I'm making it sound, it's all family friendly. Okay. Get your mind out the gutter. So, it's about being like a child's beloved toy, and the new, shinier toy comes to town, and it's like, you can't be his favorite toy. I'm his favorite toy. And then they still have beef for movies later. So, his name, one of the characters is Woody, and the other is Buzz Lightyear. To infinity and your mom. Okay, Disneyland. Okay. You want to know how not Disney adult I am? Madame Leota. Okay. All right. We'll just do it. I'll just come out. Okay. So, my family and I went to Disney World for round about Halloween time. And we may or may not have ridden the Haunted Mansion ride 4 times when we were there. Whatever. It's not a big deal. So, I made a little mishap thing. I was showing my husband videos of like the park after hours thing for Halloween, which we did go to. I didn't realize that there were two different versions of that. The one in Florida is like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, and then in Disneyland in California, it's Oogie Boogies. Well, guess who one of my kids is obsessed with? That's right, Oogie Boogie. Oops on my part, but we still had a really great time. But the thing is, I really want to go to Disneyland. So, like, not that I'm saying I would stay close to you or anything like that, but I'm saying, like, how far away do you live from Disneyland? Do you want to be someone's Disneyland guide? The toys actually do have beef. We're not talking about the court thing. This is not code. Belinda is so confused. Um, yeah, yes. So Woody, why can I not remember the kid's name? Andy. Holy shit. Um, Woody is like a cowboy, country western dude, and he is the kid Andy's favorite toy. I can just hear my husband and our friend Abe. I knew this is what I knew it was either murder or Disney that you would get on here and talk about, or crows. I have a desire to befriend crows, but Andy for his birthday gets a new toy, and it's Buzz Lightyear, space astronaut man. So when any human people leave the room, the toys kind of wake up and start talking with each other and like hanging out and stuff. So the coveted spot in Andy's room, when he makes his bed for the day and goes out to school, he puts his favorite toy right there on his pillow. After Andy's birthday and Buzz Lightyear comes around, Woody is no longer placed on the bed. Buzz Lightyear is. And Buzz also is at first not really aware that he's an actual toy. He thinks he's actually space astronaut dude, Buzz Lightyear. So, oh my gosh. I would purchase a crocheted Oogie Boogie. So the neighborhood I live in has slowly but surely over the years, and I've lived here quite a while, become a complete booze fest. And for Halloween, one street a couple up from us totally freaking blows it out for that did not sound right. They do a big for Halloween. I'm talking they do trick or treating for 2 hours and they cut it off and there are lines up to people's doors. People hire bands. They completely everyone goes all out for their yards, for their houses. And this one house had like these big wooden things of Nightmare Before Christmas all out, a couple weeks before Halloween. And when we went up to their house, there was someone dressed in a pretty nice costume of Oogie Boogie and my daughter. And she latched on to Oogie Boogie when she was like 4. She's 8 now. I don't know. I guess she is my daughter. So, but we had to go up to the house twice because she was so excited to see Oogie Boogie. She loves him. Yes, it is Toy Story. I saw something else. I think somebody was talking about Disneyland, it being small. I've only been to Disney World. I'm not going to tell you how many times, but I have been. I did used to live in Florida. Okay, so that makes a difference. I think it actually does. Holy crap! If I was still a Florida resident, their prices. I wish we weren't digital anymore and I could just use my family's information and get Florida resident tickets for Disney World because a year, like pass holder for a year, whatever, is like 2 days park hopper regular price ticket. It's freaking insane. Dr. Pepper break. Talk amongst yourselves. But I've often wondered, like, how much is at Disneyland and like what I know it is smaller. What do they call it? Do they just call it Disneyland? Are there different, like how we have different parks? Like, I know they don't have as many. Like we have Epcot, Magic Kingdom, blah 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 blah. But yeah, um, so besides last year when all of my family went for their first time, um, it had been 25 years since I had gone. And it was different in the 90s. I really don't remember like where you wait. I know people call them queues. I don't know why that bugs me. I'm sure it's proper term, but it does. So, back in my day, you just stared at a wall when you went in. I don't remember it being so um, done up just going through the lines to get on the ride. Um, you do not scan your hand. I think you can. I know for my son's disability thing, we do have to like do our fingerprint, like scan our finger. Yeah, they do have watches. And again, I don't know if Disneyland is different than Disney World, but you can just have a card that you like beep up. It's kind of like the keyless entry for a hotel room key or something like that. But you can do the same to get into rides and stuff like that at Disney and get into Disney World. But you can also get like a magic band so you don't have to hold on to or keep up with a card. Just kind of looks like a watch. Probably have mine somewhere. And you just kind of boop it. Um, yeah. I can't remember if those who don't have the DAS pass, disability something or other pass, have to scan their fingerprint as well. But I mean, it's probably to keep people like myself from, using their cousin's ID to get a Florida discount. Because again, it's significantly less money than that. But I think I would like to go to Disneyland. I would really like to go in October with my daughter and go to I think it's called the Oogie Boogie Bash. And what I really like when we watch YouTube videos of it, that I think it's called like the Villains Village or something like that. There was all this like different lights and different things like that you walk through that I really thought my son would enjoy. And again, that's when I found out that's only at Disneyland, not Disney World, and I kind of based the whole trip from oops, because Disney World's not cheap. But yeah, you basically have to have a college degree in Disney World to enjoy Disney anymore. It's not like you just give your little ticket and you walk in and you stand in line. Um, I think they allow way too many people in at a time. You basically have to purchase more add-ons to buy the chance of not having to wait so long in the line for the ride that you want to do. I'm sorry, someone got chased down by a shovel. And this is why I like Disney World. You're saying Tim would be a no-go for finger pricks, hand stamps, bracelets. I got you. Part of the reason why I like it so much, they are freaking awesome with people with disabilities. Awesome, 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 awesome. Yeah, and that's what we've kind of learned, um, this we kinda got the first time out of the way, and we had our family, Disney meltdown in the park. You know, you can always tell walking through there, who's been there for a while because there's always you kinda seems like there's an unspoken rule, like, if you see someone having a family meltdown, you just kinda, "Oh, okay," and you head down, you just kinda keep on trucking because you know either you've been there or you're going to be there. It is sensory overload and a half. Even if you don't have sensory issues, you're gonna have some at Disney World. There are lots of freaking ways to combat that, but without doing a 5-hour live stream on everything Disney World, um, what we have learned since then is A, they have a campground at Disney World. It's very coveted, so you gotta get in. You gotta, like, book a year in advance. But it's way better, and spoiler alert, me and my son are going again over spring break, whatever. I would suggest for anybody that ever wants to go, and if it's your first time, you think it's your only time ever, I would go for a week. The most days that you can go, even if it's 4 or 5, but don't go to the park every day. Have, like, a down day, and especially at Disney World, I don't know so much about Disneyland, there is so much that you can do without going into the park. And you can go and this is part of why, like, I've kind of become excited about Disney World because, again, to be able to go, you kind of need a freaking college degree to navigate it and to know what day and what time and this and that and the other, and, okay, if you stay here and you say whatever. I would suggest for people's first time going to stay at one of the resorts on the, Disney World campus, and they have different tiers of places you can stay. Yes, they have camping at Disney World. It's called Fort Wilderness. It's really awesome. You can just stay there. I mean, you can't. You do have to have a park, at least one day of park tickets, but you could just stay there and not go into the park and have so much to do. They have different pools, they have different playgrounds, they have singing campfires every night, they have archery, they have the Disney World, all the horses, the stable is what I'm trying to say. They have all of them. Um, there at Fort Wilderness, you can go on horseback riding. Um, Again, we went in the fall, so it wasn't so gatorish, but we did have like a wild turkey come and chill on our campsite. It was kind of fun. No, it was a little scary. I mean, whatever, chickens, turkeys, whatever, are scary. Um, I completely get what you're saying, Rose. I absolutely freaking do. And I'm telling you, when I tell you guys I've been like going through a benign midlife crisis, after the second time that we went to Disney, I had like this me and my husband were talking like, what if like Disney World is me and my son's thing? Like, what if that's what we both like to do? telling you, going to that place, like, of course, there's always hangups and hiccups and everything. We had one ourselves. We didn't know that, and nobody freaking told us the first time. My son's in a wheelchair, but his wheelchair looks similar to, it looks more like an adaptive stroller, but it doesn't look like a typical person stroller. Like, you can tell it's a medical device. But I guess because it doesn't look like the traditional wheelchair, you are supposed to go, and get, like, a wheelchair tag for it, because a cast member, if you don't have that, they are not supposed to let you on the ride, and some of the rides, we don't have to take him out of the wheelchair, he can just go right on the ride in his chair, but some of, we did have to transfer him, or we chose to, um, so nobody, that's why I love it so freaking much. Nobody from the cast members to even people in the park, and cast members is what they call the employees, because it's like pixie dust. So no one made him feel, or us feel, like we shouldn't have him there. 0%. In fact, it was very, very welcoming. And I'm not saying it's not difficult, it's challenging. And again, you got to kind of know these little tips and tricks, and we learn something new every time we go. But, um, for instance, just tell you my whole Disney life story. When we went to Disney for Halloween, had their big fireworks Halloween show. They do have a handicap section, but there's a lot of handicap sections, kind of far back. And um, yes, we can see the fireworks up in the sky, but what we were really wanting, as much as my daughter loves Oogie Boogie, my son really likes Jack Skellington, and we had watched YouTube videos, and he comes out like this big freaking 20-foot tall Jack Skellington comes out, and my son always like, woo, when he comes out. So, not asking for special treatment, but at the same time, like, that far back and sitting down and people standing in front of him, like, he's not going to be able to see that part. And we had asked cast members before, and I don't think they were quite understanding fully, like, where the best place was going to be for someone in a wheelchair to be able to see that. And they kept suggesting that place. And once we got there, I'm like, we're not going to be able to see. And the one thing about fireworks shows and Disney parades, you can stab a bitch over those things. People line up, get their spot, it gets crowded, it gets intense. But again, there are ways and there are tips and tricks. So, kind of close to the show. And again, this is where I wish I could like show you guys photos. But I went up to a couple cast members. I knew they were in different uniforms. They were like in all white. So I thought they were maybe like upper than regular cast members. And guess what they are? Because they're custodians. So, but I just went up to a couple of them. I was like, hey, I understand this. And again, not asking for special treatment, just didn't know if there was a suggestion of blah, 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 blah. And, we're, same story I told you guys. By the time we got way back here, other things filled up, and just didn't know if you guys could like assist us. And I was explaining that my son really, really liked Jack Skellington. And she was like, say no more. And she was like, what you're going to do, you guys are going to follow me through this crowd. And if people tell you you can't go that way, you just keep reiterating, I'm with her, I'm with her, I'm with her. I was like, cool. And I had this really weird feeling. I was like, oh shit, I think she's about to do something like that not everybody gets to do. And I think I was correct, because at least at Disney, at Magic Kingdom and Disney World, there's these two little turrets down from the castle, and they're kind of off to the side but close to the castle. And for some shows, people can stand in them, but for the fireworks shows, they were roped off, unless you're awesome. She undid the rope, let us all in. We were so close to the show. Did I start crying? If nobody saw it, it didn't happen, right? Like the tree in the forest. Bear doesn't shit in the woods. And then I kind of turn around and look because there's multiple people who I'm realizing are custodians. That's why they're all in white. And I look around and they're all coming up to my son and to us and to whatever. And I'm just like, I'm looking because not only is this awesome for that to do, and yes, my son's disabled, but he is not the only disabled person up in Disney World, you know? Like, I got it. Don't get me wrong. I fight for my kid. When shit's not fair, I fight for my kid. But they're pretty fair at Disney World with disabilities. So I'm not trying to push it or ask for more than like my family's not special. My son's he's not the only disabled person in the world, and he gets plenty of love and plenty of opportunities. Whatever. I could do a whole stream about that. But I looked over, and most of the people who are custodians, I could tell had some sort of a either physical or mental disability too. So like I just happened to go up and talk to the right person. And I did see when she was like walking us there, I didn't notice it at first, but I noticed she had like a I'll call it a cane when she was walking us through. Excuse me. But I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm not saying that will happen every single time, but I believe in our experience, you get what you pay for there, and you pay a hefty penny. They do offer military discounts, so that's a plus. I feel like Disney should start paying me now for promoting this stuff. But I lost my train of thought. Yes, I agree. And I do speak up and we get extra stuff and I make things fair for him. But when you're in a world where there's like multiple people who are in the same position my son is, I like things fair and equal. So like he shouldn't always be if we can't all get it, then I don't feel like I should fight for him to get it too. Like had I known she was doing that, I mean, I probably still would have went. It was awesome. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty incredible. So yeah, you guys didn't know you were coming to a Disney World stream, did you? You guys were all like, wow, I knew JC was a nerd, but I didn't know it was that bad. Yeah. Yeah, it sure is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Am I excited about the reopening of Splash Mountain because it's now going to be all Louisiana? Yes. Are you kidding me? Am I waiting for them to announce the reopening date? I mean, I don't have a countdown thing. I'm not that bad yet. Yeah, this was just the time that he had to enjoy. It was a gift. I don't know if y'all believe or not. Oh, yeah, I'm a Christian. Not a Trump Christian. I feel like I have to say that. No offense to those who are. I'm just not. But yes. Um, Water parks. We have not been to the water parks there. However, most of the resorts there, if not all, have a pool. And I mean, we're about to go again in March, and we just went in October. And in October, it was warm enough for us to swim. Um, yes, yeah, it was. Like I had to hold back tears because I'm like, I feel like we're getting like VIP treatment. This is stuff people pay even more thousands of dollars to get to experience, and um, I just happened to ask the right person. And to be honest, even though it happened to be like someone with disabilities connecting to someone else with disabilities, when you go there, they want you to have a good time. They understand it's stressful. Um, they understand it's kind of overwhelming, and these parks are big and they have their own transportation to, from, and all the way around between resorts and parks and yada yada yada. So they understand, and if you go up to a cast member and be like, "Hey, I need help," they will help you, regardless if you are someone with disabilities or not. And it's a place for my kid. He doesn't have boundaries there. Like we go, and I don't have to think like I typically do. Okay, um, am I going to be able to get him there? Am I going to be physically able to do it? If my husband's there with me or not? Am I going to be able to lift this? If, like, when we go swimming somewhere, I have to pick somewhere. We don't often go to pools. We go to somewhere like lakes and stuff around here. So there's like a zero entry access, because I have to be able to be a hand away from both kids. And just there's always something that I have to think about, and all parents have to think about things, but it is a little bit extra for us. So when I go there, I don't really have to think like that. Um, I know that whatever we do, he's going to be able to do, and all four of us can do it together. And I never noticed how much anxiety I have over that. Um, I kind of already have anxiety, so um, it just I like it. I love it. The end. Hey, hey, hi, it's me. Yeah, I haven't been on here for a while. I've shared before. Well, one, I got really burnt out on talking about Murdoch stuff, and then to kind of maybe to wrap up and also kind of go back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream of I got really self-conscious about um self-conscious, paranoid. I don't know if paranoid's the right word because I feel like it's kind of realistic, especially in what we've all witnessed and some of us have experienced in this community. But just if I say something like, "Hey, I didn't like Aaron's stream last night," am I going to have people coming after me, looking up my information, harassing, all this stuff that a lot of people have experienced from different creators, that are mostly from the anti-KJ world and a little bit adjacent. I feel like you don't even have to say something that outlandish. You can just say, "Hey, I think they're dumb," or "I think what they did is dumb." And and then, yeah, I think I got a little bit more self-conscious about that too because I was talking about things, regarding the Murdoch trial, which I wanted to, um, but it's just the culture of people here, and, like, you can't talk about us, and if you do, you're gonna be outcast from the community and just different things. I always knew there was a level to this and a risk to being online and, um, it potentially affecting my real or in-person life. I just didn't realize it would be, about the stupidest shit and that people would get so upset about stupid shit and the level that they would take it. So, and then it kind of got a little strange too because a lot of the people I had connections with, they turned out to be not such great people. And even though even though I feel like my separation was a wise choice, I definitely miss having people on streams and going on their streams and talking about the things, the movies, the TV shows, the psychology, the all the stuff that we talked about before. Um, and I guess I just had to have a moment, a little sad about it, and also, okay, I got to do it again and build it back up a little bit from even the little bit that I had. I just miss that sense of community. Um, and sometimes it does seem I'm sure it won't always be this way, but it seems like for the time being, that's when I get the most engagement, which I somewhat understand, but also kind of makes me a little sad and frustrates me. Um, because that's what I'm doing this to have people to, nerd out about Hamilton with and different things. So, um, I appreciate when anybody comes around for whatever reason, but I wish I had more of it when like I did before when I talked about things like Black Mirror and otherwise. So just having feelings here and there, but yeah, worried that they'll be taken out of context and translated. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me as much as I'll tell you what bothers me. Like when Steve did stream about me, that didn't really bother me. Only thing that bothered me was figuring out that Flower Girl was like an asshole the whole time and found out that because of the stream. Um, what bothered me was being tagged in a translator video and having Josh Duggar and my name together. What bothered me was having death threats and having someone talk about, finding my family and he would pay people to find my family. Those are the things that bother me. I don't care if someone gets up here and makes fun of me or um, I don't know. It doesn't bother me. Maybe it should, but it doesn't bother me. And it really doesn't bother me more, especially when I know they're doing something out of their playbook. It's like, oh, this is going to be a back and forth with them and JC. No, I have other things to talk about. Sure, I'll occasionally get on here and be like, Well, that was dumb doing a live stream after your court case, but um, look at me. I can talk for an hour about Disney World. I don't need to go back and forth. I mean, nobody may be here, but I can at a school sometimes. Honestly, just having a camera in front of me just makes me sitting here talking to myself more socially acceptable. I'd do this without a camera. Hi, I'm JC. Honey, what are you doing? Are you recording yourself? No. I'm just having a conversation with myself like I always do. You married me. Boopity boop 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 boo. Disney and Woody's, baby. I am too, especially the first like 5 minutes. I'm self conscious about being on camera, but then I don't know. I eventually get over it. There are moments, and you probably tell, and I'm always like, I feel like people can start to notice when I'm having one of those moments where I'm like aware of myself and aware that I'm on camera, and like they can tell, oh, she's insecure right there. So I get all up in my head. Um, but then my need to regurgitate all the thoughts in my head just override that insecurity. But it's there. It's there. I remember when I used to go on even like Erin's panel, I would sit there and like sometimes message her before and like, I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack. Like I want to get up there and talk, but I don't want to get up there and talk. Like she's like, yeah, I know. Sometimes I have to like psych myself up before I get on camera or whatever. So and then she turned out to be a psychopath. What? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I'm sober right now, but I can't say that that's always the case. And sometimes that actually works in my benefit because, especially in real life, and that's why I'm like, oh God, if someone actually meets me in real life, they're going to be like, wow, you are much cooler on camera because I actually can be very shy. I'm pretty all or nothing with that. I'll either talk your head off or do that. Yes. Same with me. Not right now. I'm like, yes, same with me. My face doesn't show my expressions um, or my emotions. Again, I feel like I'm like, I can be one extreme or the other. One of my tells is typically when I'm more flatlined, I actually have more emotions going on. You're welcome. Let's tell secrets. It's appropriate for the internet. That's also why I sometimes am more hard on myself when speaking to people who I feel when I meet people in person and we don't know each other well. Obviously, I can be quite sarcastic, um, more like dark humor girl, whatever. And I think some of you have told, even like when someone earlier was like, I think she called me a loser. I was like, yeah, I probably did. Once you get to know me, you can tell, obviously, I'm completely joking. And I don't want to say I would never call someone a loser, but I like to poke fun at people, have like a little banter back and forth, whatever. Um, and I grew up in the generation that called their best friends like, "Hey, what's up, whore?" "Oh, nothing, slut," stuff like that. So it's kind of what I'm used to. And it's really difficult for me not to be myself. So when I feel like I can't be myself, I just get real quiet. Like if I feel like someone doesn't quite understand my humor, or maybe I'm a little too much for them in that regard, which is completely fine. Um, there's certain personalities I don't freaking like either, especially when people switch them all the time. But other than that, I forgot what I was talking about again. So there's that. Back to Spackle's comment. Yeah, I feel like that's sometimes my reason for being on camera, because I have this idea in my head that it's much easier for people to understand kind of my rhythm and my patterns of speaking and my intent. Um, you can get to the conclusion that hopefully I'm a kind person. Um, you can come to that conclusion faster if you can actually see when I do have facial expressions. You can see my mannerisms. And you can have more visual content to make fun of me. Bless you. It's my dog. She has the sneezes. Humor is subjective. And I subjectively say that mine's quite good. Oh, yeah, that's all weird too. Well, it isn't, it isn't. Oh God, it's like 11 here. For some reason, I've got it in my head that it's a Friday night, but it is not. And I definitely have to get up in just a few hours to get my kids off to school. So I was about to say like, if anybody does want to come up here, but then if I start that, I will not get to bed when I'm supposed to, which is now. So thank you guys. How do I say this? I feel like people who are dumb take it that way, Spackle. Yeah, I'm that kind of a jerk too. Because I think one of the first times that I really was like, I think I like this chick, was when I'm pretty sure you were on camera and you were breaking down, you were doing like a reaction to somebody, I won't say their names, stream, but if someone says their name, well, that's on them. That's not on me. It was Aaron's. So, that's one thing that drew me to you and that I liked and appreciated. I felt like I could follow you, if that makes sense. I'm gonna wear your skin. But I feel like I understood. I'm like, okay, this is another bitch that like is kind of dry sometimes, and like I get it. I spoke your language, especially since it was only one. That never gets old. I'm such a dick. Such a dick. All right. Um, Thank you guys for being here. And yes, I think several people said it. There absolutely was a new season of Black Mirror. Um, and I have a little video done about kind of the entire season, and then I wanted to go through episodes. But I didn't know if anyone's around that would be interested in that sort of thing anymore. So I guess it doesn't matter. If I build it, they will come. Pretty much lots of people hated this season and said it was very not like Black Mirror. I can understand their perspective, but I disagree. But I liked it. It wasn't as techy, I'll say that. But I enjoyed it. But yes, it was either 3 or 4 episodes. And you can watch it on Streamberry. That was a hint. Go watch it. All right, people. I'm going to be out of here. And then you'll notice the most awkward thing. I don't know how to, like, when I'm at parties and stuff, I definitely do the Irish goodbye. I'm like, ha ha ha. And then I'm just, what? She's not here anymore. Like, I don't know how to end streams without being weird, but I am weird. So there's just no possible way. Thank you for being here. Good night. Don't get a court case.